About starting to draft our pattern for a female shirt with center and bust dart. So this is the back pattern and I'm starting from the neckline. The measurement that you can use for your neckline is inside the workbook. Meanwhile, for this pattern, I'm using 2.5 for the back width and then 1 inch for the back depth. So I'm starting my measurement from the neckline. This is 2.5 inch. Then the depth is 1 inch. So I'll use my ruler to construct a rectangular shape there. Then I will make my curve. The next thing is the shoulder. So the shoulder for this pattern is 14 inches divided by 2. That is 7 inches with ½ inch for sewing allowance. Then I'm going to measure 0.75 inch down, then with 0.5 inch for seam allowance. So I'll rule a line there, then I'll slant it to the shoulder, 0.75 to the shoulder, then 0.5 inch that will be for the sewing allowance. I'll also slant it also to the shoulder. Then the next thing is the armhole. Armhole for this pattern is 14 inches divided by 2. That is 7 also. So this is 7. Then I will rule across. Rule a line across. Then I'll also rule a line down here because I want to make my armhole. I want to do the armhole. So position your curve. Before I position my curve, on this line, I'm going to measure my bust. Bust for this pattern is 36. 36 divided by 4 is 9. Then I'll add 0.5 inch sewing allowance to it. So on that, I can now make my curve for the armhole. You can see that the mid part of the curve goes inward with just like ½ inch. We already know what that is for, so that the armhole of the shirt can be very accurate. So we have that here. All right, the next thing is to measure the arm length. The half length. Half length is from the edge of your shoulder to the waist area for this shirt. So I'm going to position my tape rule somewhere here, then measure it down. For this shirt, the half length is 15.5, which is here. Then the hip is 25. The full length, which is going to be at the upper part of the hip, is 25.5. I will now add 1 inch for the M allowance. So that is that. I'm going to rule these places as well. So I've ruled this place. Then the full length is going to be my hip line. Then the 1 inch for the M allowance. Very good. So that is done now. So on my waistline, which is the half length, I'm going to measure my waist. Waist for this pattern is 32. 32 divided by 4 is 8. Then I'll add 1 inch for that and then ½ inch for sewing allowance. I'm coming to the hip line, which is on the full length of the shirt. Then the hip is 38 divided by 4, which is 9.5. Then I'm adding 1 inch for the sewing allowance. Then the M allowance is just 1 inch. Now what I have left is just to connect these lines, these dots, with a line. Then I will make a curve at the lower part of the shirt. For me to be able to make my curve accurately, I use 2 inches here. Then I use 3 inches on the baseline. So I'm just going to connect to have a good curve at the base of my shirt. So this is it about the pattern. Next thing is just to cut. Then I'm going to use this same back pattern to cut my front pattern. Let's cut it. So we have cut the back pattern, so I'm going to use the same pattern to draft my front pattern. Alright, so I'm starting. We have cut the back pattern of the female shirt with center and bust that. So I'm going to use the back pattern to cut the front pattern. So the first thing I did is to fold the button stand, which is just 1.5 inches. So I folded it in. Then next is to measure 0.5 on it. That is going to be for the overlapping of the button stand. So just dot it 0.5. Dot it in like 3-4 places. Then you can now position your shirt. Okay, I've done it, so I'm going to position the back pattern there on the dots. So I've done that. Then note that the edge is the same thing. Then remember that we are about doing the front pattern, so the front width is the same thing as the back width. Back width and front width of the neckline is the same. So I use 2.5 for the back width, so it's the same thing as the 2.5 for the front width of the neckline. So I'm just going to use the back width to do that, the 2.5 for the back width to do the measurement for the front width. So I've done that. Then I'm also using 2.5 inch for the back depth, for the front depth rather. For the back depth, I use 1 inch. For this front depth, I'm using 2.5. So the measurement is like 2.5 by 2.5 for the front neckline. Then the back neckline, I use 2.5 by 1 inch. So I'm going to rule it, and I'm going to have something like a rectangle there. After ruling them, I'm going to make my cuff for the neckline, also for the collar. Okay, that is good. I've done that. So I'm positioning my pattern, back on the front pattern. You need to pay a little attention to this place. Make sure that everything is in line. You can pin. If you need to pin, you can use your pin. I'm going to pin this one so I can have it set. Note what I'm doing. You can see that everything is right. So the last thing I'm going to do on this front pattern before I cut it is the bust that. So I'm coming to the edge of the armhole. I'm going to measure 3.5 down. Then I will also mark it. So I'm going to mark it. So I've marked my 3.5 down. Then I'm going to use my pin to hold that bust that as if I want to sew it. Watch what I'm doing very well. You can see I held it like a dart upward. Then I'll pin it. When I want to cut, I will lose the pin so I can cut the excess there with the fabric. Then I've held that bust that. I've held it there, so I need it to be balanced, because of paper. We are using a pattern paper, so it might want to. So I need this to be balanced. So before I do the all right. So everything is balanced back now. So I'll pin it back. And then I'm going to cut this pattern. Just hold it firm with your hand, then you can cut. The first thing I'll do is to cut the neckline. After which I'm going to cut the shoulder. Then I'll begin to cut down the armhole. trying to make sure everything is in place as I cut. That's why we use pattern papers. So I'm done, almost done with cutting. Very good. So I've cut both the front and the back pattern of a female shirt with center dart and bust dart.